So, cousin, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad at all, not too bad at all. So, today we're going to carry on our discussions and we're going to be talking about family planning and trying to get pregnant. So,
Yeah,
we did this extensively on the 40 Weeks for Men podcast. I think it was week 6 development. So, I
yeah,
did it from a dad's point of view, but you and I can talk about it today if you don't mind.
yeah. That sounds good. Let's do it.
Perfect, let's do it. 40 Weeks for Men. 40 Weeks for Men. 40 Weeks for Men. So let's kick us off. So, what do you think about this idea of family planning? Does that ever come to your mind?
Um, yes and no,
Yeah, tell me.
really. Um, no, in a sense, because I'm not really with anybody at the moment, but
Yeah,
I'm not obviously in that mindset. But yes, I do want to be with someone and have a family. So
yeah,
it makes sense to plan ahead when you want to actually create, a child and bring them into this life because it's
good.
important.
That's good because I hear, well, this is just what I hear, but I hear from a lot of men that they kind of just become dads, and a lot of time it's not like they've tried to think about how to plan their family. They've
Yeah.
just sort of like fell in love with someone, had sex, and then bang, that's it, they're dads. So like for you, it seems that it's different. Why?
Just one. I think quite a lot about a lot of things,
Mm.
so it's important to have like certain things in place
Yeah,
before
okay.
you go forward. Because I mean, in this life, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yeah, true,
Um.
true.
So, but in the same way, I am very spontaneous with things. So if something did happen, I would be able to just
Manage
carry
it.
on and manage it at the time. But it's good to have certain things in place, like a place to live, shelter, like warm food and bottles, all those things, formula,
Yeah,
whatever you need, nappies, all that stuff you need before you have a child. You
so
need these things
true,
ready.
cuz. That's so true. I let me rate you. I'm glad you're thinking about these things even before you have a spouse or any kids of your own. It's
Yeah,
tough to think about these things early. And I love that quote, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I always I always said it like fail to plan, plan to fail.
yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
guess the
Same
same
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
exactly.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. It's good.
What
So
about you? Did you think about it before?
did I think about it before?
Yeah, planning.
Yeah, I mean, like once I got married, I kind of got to a position where I was like, okay, I want to have more ducks in the row per se. So I want to have more financial things sorted out, more
Yeah,
housing things sorted out.
yeah,
You were there in my life. I didn't
yeah,
have
exactly.
those things sorted out when I had my first child. So even though the intention was there, it didn't work that way for me. And I think you really hit the nail on the head. I love that word, didn't it? Sorry. I think you really, really are right in the sense that you said sometimes you've got to just adapt.
Yeah,
And sometimes like life throws you curveballs and you need to just like try and catch
try
it.
and catch it exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Try and catch it. So for me, because I had to adapt, I did. My firstborn, I love her to bits, but I wish I had more things like before she came.
Yeah,
Uh,
like what?
like for me, I wish we owned a house.
Okay.
Wish we had like some money, surplus money for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those things sort of came with time, but yeah, I had to adapt a lot. I was still working like full time and doing a lot of work. My wife was too. So like,
Exactly. You're
yeah, it was
working.
hard, bruv. It was very hard.
Mm.
But now I'm talking to you about this. I'm like, yeah, family planning is important, and actually doing that from a dad's point of view is key. It's really important because a lot of time we just like we enjoy having sex and we just sex makes babies.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, and actually planning early and thinking about okay, if I have babies, what's that phrase? People say stewarding your reproductive potential.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so you have the ability to make babies, but your
Yeah.
job is to steward that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Guide
your
them in the right
job is to,
direction.
yeah, exactly. Like you have a body and you try and eat well, sleep well, go to the gym once in a while, because you want to
Yeah,
steward your body. You want to look
exactly.
after your body. Same thing with like your ability to make kids. I don't think it's very responsible to sort of just have kids whenever you
No,
want. But
no.
yeah, I think you do need to be a bit gracious and realize that sometimes things happen. I need to
Mhm.
just adapt. Yeah, that's my thoughts. My thoughts. Yeah, yeah. Some people, their main way of thinking about family planning is they have no sex.
Oh, okay, okay, fair.
100% successful abstinence is the
Yeah,
best form of contraception. But I
exactly.
think like life has showed us that that is very hard to do. I don't know about you, but I think
Yes,
that's
that's
impossible for a lot of people, bro.
for a long time as well. Like, you can hold it sometimes for a long
It
time, but at one time it might be peak.
might be fake.
Um, for me, I
Yeah,
mean, I want to be in a stable relationship first with
yeah,
somebody.
I hear that.
Um, and then like talking about certain things that we want in a household. I'll be sitting down with my partner and talking about how what the house looks like in terms of
Mm,
who's doing what in the house, and how we helping each other to like get
yeah,
towards a certain goal, in terms of how many kids you want, what I
yeah.
mean, when you eat dinner, have breakfast, or if you sit together, if you know what I mean,
Like
job wise, if you're
values,
both
values.
working,
Mm,
yeah, exactly, values in the household, and like what you want to teach them, and like who's, if you both have jobs, who's going to look after the child, like if one of you doesn't have a job, like child care, you know what I mean, you're going to stay at home, all that kind of stuff. I'll be having a talk with my partner. I suppose I do with people early on anyway, just to see if these things align anyway, because you don't want to be getting into a relationship,
really?
and yeah,
It's
yeah,
good to get thinking about these things early.
because I think like you get into a relationship, and then you're so far down the line, and your thoughts are not aligning, then it
Mm,
just becomes a disaster. And because you're in love with this person, or you like them a lot, and
yeah.
your core things are not aligning, and it doesn't feel good in the end. Like, well, you just break up, really.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. This is cool. But as well, I guess like the mere fact that you're even considering these things is a good thing. I mean, I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you're even considering these things. But I do think you need to give yourself a bit of a chance though, because like people are always like so what's the word for it? When people are like they have a plan
Yeah, yeah,
to okay, I'm gonna have two babies by the time I'm 35.
yeah,
Or have like twins first and then I have one baby and that's it, I'm done.
yeah.
It doesn't always work that way.
No, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
at
always
all.
work
Well,
that
yeah, look at me. I'm 33 with no kids. I thought I'd had one by now. So,
I know what
so
you mean, cuz I know what you mean.
and the relationships I have with my family, friends, and God, really, and football.
Yeah,
So,
it's
uh,
no, it's good though, because like
uh,
that's what I'm going to ask next. Because I think this would be a good thing for us to talk about. Because everyone's life is different. Everyone. How
yeah,
do we adapt? Because things don't always go the way we plan, especially when it comes to family planning.
yeah. You just have to take it each day as it comes. Really, you have to maneuver. You have to maneuver, pivot.
Yeah,
If this doesn't work, think of another way to get around the situation, the problem. Uh,
yeah,
that's how my life has been shaped. Really, I've never planned. Well, I'm not a planner, but you have to plan a few things in your life to get to where you want to go to. You know what I mean? It might not be the same destination. It might not, sorry, not be the same pathway, but you end up getting to that destination. But I am very spontaneous, and I'm able to
it's
work
good.
under pressure.
Yeah, I think that's really good because I think you're so right. You need to be able to maneuver and pivot quickly. And actually, a lot of the time, what we do is we get, especially as men, we get so fixed in the way that we want to do things,
Yeah.
in the plan that we have, that we're not ready to adapt. And I can even tell you from a dad's point of view as well. I had to learn that with my babies, man. My babies, I'm just like, darling, sit there so I can put your nappy on.
Yeah, and they
They
don't want
don't
to.
do it the way I want them to.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to
I've had to
pivot,
learn that
mate.
with my niece, obviously,
See?
Imani. That
See?
obviously
Yeah.
she's kind of been my like. I've been around children, but not for a long period of time, right? So Imani has been basically my child for the last 2 years as well. You know,
Yeah.
looking after her and nappy changing and brushing her
Yeah.
teeth and
That's it.
feeding and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Make sure she's
Realize.
sleeping. Yeah, it's not easy.
You realize you need to be ready to adapt. You need to
Yeah,
be ready to maneuver.
adaptability is probably the best word to use,
Yeah.
think about family planning and actually looking after a kid
Yeah.
because they might not be eating, but they have to eat. So you kind of have to like not force them to eat, but you got to say, listen, you got to kind of play games and like eat, put it in your mouth, and then they follow you, and then stuff like that,
Yeah.
little games, and because it's not always on your time. Sometimes it's on their time.
Because that's so true. Adaptability. All right, so let's think together, you and me. How do we as men get more adaptable in our lives?
You just got to put yourself into certain situations and scenarios. I think that are alien to you.
Yeah.
And anything in your life really as well. Like if you always take the easy path, you're not really gonna see if you can overcome things. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not saying you want to. No one wants a hard life. I'm not saying no one out there. Don't take the hard path all the time because if when you try hard, you die hard. That's a lyric from Kanye West. But
Hey.
listen,
Yay.
you have to be able to, try and find different ways to get the wins, and sometimes you got to like go through the hard way to like see if you can handle the pressures of life. So do things
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that as are not alien to you, and if you're able to overcome that, you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good,
What do
Shao.
you think?
Shao. Yeah, I think the best way to adapt is really, I think firstly you need to think about the fact that you've got to do this. And
Yeah.
I think, like, for example, you and me talking about this today is making me realize that sometimes things don't always go my own way. And
No.
that's okay. So you need to be ready to, first of all, at least think about that.
Yeah.
And what you said, you need to just put yourself in situations and practice. This is a learned skill, realizing I've got to adapt.
No,
Because
I
if
agree.
honest, guys, the majority of our lives, we've literally been taught and we learnt that you need to make plans and do things your way. If you're not there by this time, then the team will leave, or you need to leave
Yeah.
by this time in order to get to work at this time.
Yeah.
So we plan all the time, and like we feel the consequences of our plans not coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, we get so fixed in the way that we want to do things that we're not ready
Mhm.
to adapt.
Yes.
And what I'm learning, cause is having kids, you need to be adaptable. You do.
Yeah.
Gotta be able to change.
That's true. Yeah, that's life, isn't it? Everyone, you've got to
That,
upgrade. You've got
yeah,
to be able to upgrade your thoughts and how you maneuver.
yeah,
Otherwise,
how you
if you,
maneuver.
otherwise you're not gonna have an easy life.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But it's a balance though, because you've literally studied yourself as well. You need to be able to adapt, but at the same time, you want certain things to be in line in order for you to have a good dad relation with your kids. So
Yeah,
you want to have a stable relationship. You want to what is today? You want to have more money. You want to have
yeah,
a house. Like these things, I think are pretty good things. Like even in interviews that I did with some dads that were thinking about being dads, and some dads that are already dads, they were saying the same thing as you. They were like, one of my main concerns when I think about family planning and I'm trying to get pregnant
hmm,
is, do I have the capacity
yeah,
financially, emotionally? And I feel like in this time, when you don't have many dependents, in the sense that you ain't got no kids of your own yet, it's
yeah,
really building your capacity. You're making it bigger, and you're making it easier for you to be able to adapt
Yeah,
when you get there.
this is what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah, and there's no blueprint. Everyone's got their own manual and map. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you just got to believe and trust in what you're doing is gonna come to fruition. And when the time comes, and you know you finally get that person that likes you, then it'll be worth it. Which I'm waiting for. Patient. It's like a never ending story at the moment. But we'll see where the chapter, see where the end of the chapter says for me. We'll see.
for real, for real. But I'm always here, and you and I will always keep talking. So we learn together, and
Come on, cuz you know
yeah,
that.
yeah, man, all the way. All right, well, I think we'll leave it there and let people think about what we said, and yeah, you and me will be in the next one soon, cuz.
All right, man. Lots of love, man.
Yeah, I
That was
love
great.
it.
A good chat.
Yeah, good chat.